So today we're going to do an unboxing of the AF-2009D from Resun, which I ordered on Wish. It's an auto feeder. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of What the Fish. So this is an auto feeder that I ordered off of the Wish app or wish.com. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's an app for your phone. Most of the stuff comes from China. It takes a long time to get here, but some of it has turned out to be pretty useful. So this is the AF-2009D Auto feeder from Resun. So in the box we have the auto feeder itself. It's interesting because I bought one of these at PETCO and it wasn't fully assembled. This one comes in fully assembled. The only thing you really have to do is on the bottom there's a clamp that hooks it to your tank. That clamp is pressure seated on, so you slide that off the bottom of the feeder, and then it takes, depending on the model, like I said, I have the 2009D auto feeder, and if you look at the directions right here, you can see for the 2009D, it's 2 AAA batteries. If you have the larger one, it's 2 AA batteries. So you open the bottom panel up. After you slide that little bracket off, the battery compartment is behind that. You pop that open. You slip in your 2 AA batteries. Or in this case AAA batteries. So you put in your 2 AAA batteries. Make sure it's printed on the inside of the cover which side is plus and which one is minus, like most battery compartments, so it's pretty easy to figure out. Alright, so then once you put the batteries in, it comes up with all zeros. And then on the original one I got from PETCO is actually how I learned the pattern of buttons to set this thing. I didn't even look at these directions, but you hit the set button and it takes you immediately to set the hour of the actual time of day that it is, and then the adjust button changes the hour, and it's on a 24-hour clock, which I'll show you in a second here. You hit the mode button, that switches to the minutes. And then you set your minutes, you hit set, and that's it. The time is set. Now you hit mode, and it goes into your auto feeding settings. So the first thing you want to do is you set the time you want the feeder to go off. In this case I'm setting it for 10 a.m. And then when you see the little number at the top blinking, and you hit adjust, you're setting how many rotations the feeder is going to make. In other words, there's 1 arrow or 2 arrows next to it. If you set it for 2, the feeder will rotate and dump 2 hoppers full. I choose to adjust the amount that comes out rather than have it go off and spin twice. It uses more battery if you have it spinning twice than if you just open the little slider a little more and make it dump a little more each time. But then you continue through. Each time after you set how many times you want it to rotate, you hit the set button and then you hit mode and it carries you over to the next. You can program up to 4 feedings with either 1 or 2 rotations per feeding. And I know the camera didn't really zoom in too great on the little number above the time, but like I said, it's a 24-hour clock. So for example, 5 o'clock at night, you would set it for 1700 hours. Now when everything's done, you can see at the top it shows the 3 feedings and they're all on 1 rotation. So that means I'm set up now to feed 3 times a day on the times that I scheduled it for, and each time the hopper is going to rotate once, as you see here. Now that's a manual button in case you go up and the fish look hungry and you just have a soft heart for them and you want to feed them a little extra. 3 times a day though, for my purposes, is more than sufficient. So I'm not going to forget any of their feedings. Set up for my guppy breeding environment here to try and get a colony started. I've got a few different females in here and only one male, and there is already babies in here. Maybe you can see them. Let's see if I can zoom in on one. You can see them. There's one right there. There's one back there. And these happened just a day after I put the guppies into this tank. They decided they were ready to let some babies go, and the babies did come. But now back to the auto feeder. So to put it on, it's actually really simple. The clamp that covered the battery cover, you unscrew it and open it up. You slide it down over the lip of your tank, and then you go ahead and you tighten that little screw up so it's held in place. Now there's an adjustment right here on the front of it. So what I suggest doing, I have the actual little vinyl piece that goes back here. So when I first set it in there, you hit that manual button and you just want to see how much food it's actually dumping out every time it dumps. And you want to make sure it's not overfeeding. So you can see not a whole lot coming out every time. Right now there's only 5 guppies and a couple of babies. As time goes on, I will move this over to the left towards max a little more and let a little more food out. But definitely test it before you just set it and forget it, because if you don't, you can have a disaster like I had with my first one of these, where pretty much the whole container empties in about 2 rotations. So that's something to look out for, and be careful. If you like what you saw, give me that thumbs up button, click subscribe, and we'll see you next time on What the Fish.